Hi friends, thanks for stopping by to see this DIY patio makeover. As you can see, this has become a dumping spot for toys, clutter, supplies, and tools. We love doing DIY projects, so there's always a process mess somewhere on site. In this video, we are going to clear out the mess, refinish the concrete floor, spruce up our old furniture, and tackle some budget DIYs. We do spend a lot of time out here, so I want to really put in the effort to get it spruced up. We put in a lot of sweat and tears on our DIY in-ground pool, but the rest of this area is just so neglected. Okay, let's get started. First step, Marie Kondo the contents of the porch. This chair really does spark joy. It's so comfortable, but it's so ugly. I'm gonna see if there's anything Pinteresty I can do to help it make the cut. Overall, I wanted to use things from around my house and keep the budget really tight, but I did splurge on a new grill because the one we had was just not cutting it. My husband loves to grill, he's a great chef, and he deserved it. And it was Father's Day. So we snuck it onto the porch and then surprised him and then asked him to cook us dinner for Father's Day. The next step is a good old-fashioned sweeping and scraping up any loose or peeling paint. You really could go with power washing if you have that equipment, but sometimes you get more paint pulling off than you really want to deal with. Anything not significantly loose is going to have to stay for the next renovation. Now I'm just spraying it down with the hose on the highest force setting, and it's causing even more paint to come up. I thought I was done with the scraping and peeling, so finally I just scrubbed it all down with a plain dish soap. There are definitely more professional cleaning products to use at this spot in the process. TSP, for instance, it stands for trisodium phosphate. It basically is a degreaser, so I figured just using a dish soap for the DIY project was going to be just fine. I let the paint dry overnight and ran to Home Depot that morning and grabbed the bare garage and porch 1 part epoxy. I went with a premixed gray. It was called Slate Gray, and I definitely like the color, but it is very blue. If you're going for a gray, you might want to have it mixed, but I was being lazy and didn't want to wait. Also, this paint came in at right under $30, so I think it was a good deal. We'll see how it holds up over time. I just noticed some cracking, so I'm going to caulk a few spots. I think I was renovating for several years before I learned that most caulk guns have these metal pointy rods to break open the seal. I just thought I'd throw that in case you're running around the house trying to find a coat hanger to untwist and shove down your caulk dispenser. Okay, you guys have no idea how much I love this part. All the hard work is done, and this is where we finally get to see a big difference. I try to let the kids help when they want to, because I remember painting my room as a kid and loving it so much. Going in for the second coat. This is almost as much fun. If you have to leave your paint and take a break for a short time, just grab a plastic bag and throw it over your whole roller and your tray. let the paint dry overnight, and then I came out in the morning and the kids helped me touch up the cracks. This patio is already looking so much better. If I could just run out and throw down for some new furniture, we would just do that and call it done. But that would be too easy. So here is my husband's old office chair that we got used to having on the porch. It's so comfortable. I can't believe I'm even trying this, but maybe I can get it to fit in. You'll find out at the end if we decide to keep this old relic as part of the patio family. Here I'm making a stencil of some of the leaves from our other chair that has a pretty nice tropical patterned cover on it. I'm just going to freehand draw it out and then cut it with an X-Acto blade and pull out the spray paint. Okay, we'll see if that's going to be a nailed it or failed it. Moving on to this beautiful wooden chair, I'm going to do some repairs with some Loctite glue, it's like a liquid nails, and a rubber mallet. I'm just trying to knock the joints back into place. I'm doing a quick light sanding and a wipe down. Because this is for my patio, I'm just using the glossy finish spray paint because that's what I have. If I was going to spend more time on it, if it was maybe for the indoors, I might try a chalk paint and definitely go with a satin finish. The cushion on this chair was still in great condition. It was just a little faded, so I flipped it over and the other side was still bright and looked great. So I'm just taking a break. I'm showing you my matcha tea latte. It's just matcha tea with almond milk. I've challenged myself to drink it every day for 2 weeks and just see how it goes. Apparently I'm wearing my matcha tea shirt. If I make a video update about the matcha tea, I'm definitely going to wear my matcha tea shirt. The kids are swimming and having fun, which makes it all worthwhile. So I'm going to do a little inspirational quote on that old fence panel behind the pool, just to have it in the background. Make sure you use an exterior paint if you want it to last more than one season. I thought I would get away with just freehanding the letters, but once I finished, I wasn't too impressed. Since I actually do paint murals professionally, I decided to take the extra steps to make it look professional. I found a great font and printed the quote. I traced it onto some clear plastic and projected it with my 1990s overhead projector. I picked this projector up on Craigslist a few years ago for under $30, but I've had one for years and I've used it for many projects. If you're interested in my other mural projects, check back in. I'll be uploading a series of videos about it. I've done work for Bob Palmer Studios here in Oklahoma, Ted's Cafe locally, and have traveled to paint inside the Great Wolf Lodge and Bass Pro at several locations around the U.S. But home is where I want to focus my current creative surge. The next project is me trying to use up some of the things from the garage to make a rug. You should really just go buy a jute rug and lay it out, but if you really want to do things the hard way, you could try this. I'm using burlap coffee bags that we found at Atwood's for under $2 each, and and some snap together foam floor pads from Harbor Freight. They've been sitting in the garage for several years. I'm working with both hot glue and liquid nails. Hot glue to hold things down instantly and the liquid nails to hold it down for the long run. I don't want to get my hands in it, so I'm using a tool that will probably never be useful for what it was made for ever again because it's now covered in liquid nails. Now to clean up. I'm pulling my chairs back onto the patio, but I still need to deal with my favorite old swivel rocker. Here we go again. I don't 100% recommend this process. The end result was a little crispy, so I'm still keeping my options open to go a different direction. I've had this chimenea since I was in college. I remember that I traded a piece of art for it. The top was broken and is long gone, so I use it as a little side table. I just gave it a quick paint job to brighten it up. So I'm just pulling in a retired kitchen rug. I'm seeing a lot of people layering rugs for a boho style, so I'm going with that. With the paint job on the chairs, I'm thinking I could get hired at the circus, so I'm not really loving it. Are these chairs sparking joy? I was feeling a little stuck and unimpressed, so I decided to take my design partner out shopping with me so we could check out the fresh new trends. Maybe we'll get some ideas. So when I found this beautiful rag rug at Ross, I started getting some really good ideas. It was only $10 and I just love the colors. I also picked up this awesome tray from World Market and it's so cool. I just love the pattern and the colors. The tray was half off, so I got it for $10 and I got matching plates for $1 each. Everything else here was actually from the dollar store. So I did tell you I was keeping my options open on the chairs. I decided to use the rugs. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this before. I found an old fleece blanket that we had around the house. I liked the neutral brown against the bright rug. I started by just pinning and tucking and adjusting the rug to the blanket, pulling the back tight and making sure to sit down in the chair occasionally to keep the rug pressed into the seat. I'm using a thick polyester thread and a very large needle. My stitch is going around the edge and up from the bottom for each stitch, not up and down. I made a few folds on the rug, on the arms, and on the back, and I tried to keep them even and the same on both sides. This really did not take that long. It goes quickly with such big stitches. I feel like the rug was a perfect fit for this project. Just doing this with fabric, I'm sure it would have needed many more folds and seams to get it to lay down smoothly on the chair. I also think the blanket I used on the back was a perfect fit because it was stretchy. I could move it up and down, and nothing had to actually be really perfect. I just made sure the bottom lined up so I wouldn't have to cut around the bottom and sew a hem. I love how this turned out. It is sparking joy. This is a chair I nursed and rocked 3 babies in, so I'm glad it gets to stay in the family. Adversity is not what we choose for ourselves. Sometimes it chooses us because it knows we are going to find the path through it that takes us further and higher than the easy road ever would have. So now that I know what I'm doing, I'm moving on to my husband's old office chair. These two rugs were just $5 each at the Dollar Tree. I'm sewing them together, and I love how this looks so easy and fast on this time-lapse video. It really wasn't hard. I found this stretchy black material in my closet fabric stash. I wish I had another fleece blanket to use because it's not as easy to work with. I couldn't keep it flat and I'm letting it gather, but I definitely prefer the look of my other chair. But this is still a big improvement from where we'd started. A lot of dollar store DIYs online right now, so here's mine. I'm sure it's been done before, but to me it's my own idea. If you've seen this before, let me know in the comments if I nailed it or failed it. I'm just using a scrap of wood picket left from our fence. I did a light spray painting with silver and then sanded it. These buckets were $1 each, and I'm just eyeballing the spacing and using a screw to attach them vertically to the board. I picked up this hanging basket and split off part of the plants to use in my buckets. I think it's called portulaca or moss rose or maybe purslane. I also pulled some stragglers from my aloe plant. Whatever you use, make sure it can tolerate a little shade if it's on your porch, and possibly drying out if you're anything like me and forget to water. Speaking of watering, it's best to use rainwater or filtered water if you can. I know that sounds kind of picky, but when I water my house plants, I usually grab whatever bottles of water people have left lying around and didn't finish and just pour them out into my plants. My plants seem so much better since I started doing that. For my last DIY, I wanted to make an ottoman or coffee table to bring the sitting area together. I have several tires lying around, and I'd seen this DIY where you use jute rope and glue it onto the tire in a spiral. The end result looks like a weaved basket, and you buy furniture feet and attach to the bottom. After pricing the rope it would take to do this huge tire, I decided to save that for a later time. So as a last-minute modification to my plan, I used a burlap coffee sack from Atwood's, and I just tied up each corner with some twine. Home Depot had stacks of these tabletops for only $10. I haven't decided if I will stain it or just put on a clear coat. The wood is really beautiful as it is. Overall, I am so happy with how this patio came together. We've already been enjoying sitting out here with coffee in the mornings and watching the kids swim during the day. I hope this inspires you to use what you have to make your space a place that you love. If you got any great ideas or inspiration from this video, please give it a like. If you want to subscribe, my upcoming videos will cover a much needed bathroom makeover with a botanical mural and a boho vibe. I also have a pool video in the works and a few tips for growing those great big tomatoes you saw in this video.